We'll find out his name momentarily.
I don't know if this article is going to cover this, but I saw on Twitter some people were saying that there's a loan that El Salvador needs from the IMF currently. So let's see if they get their loan withheld.
Yeah, I think so. I have two articles, both on El Salvador, and I want to talk about just El Salvador in general and what they're doing with these things. But this first one is that they've just announced that this is what they want to do. El Salvador is taking steps. I believe they took steps and became the first sovereign nation to adopt Bitcoin as legal tender alongside the U.S. dollar, potentially setting the stage for other nations to reduce central bank influence over their economies. Yay!
Yay!
Yay! This is the way.
It's interesting that they did it alongside the U.S. dollar. It sounds like they're like, please, they're adopting Bitcoin while saying, please don't invade us.
I mean, yeah. That's probably a very accurate assessment, Chris. They probably sat down, their finance people in this particular government in El Salvador, they probably sat down and they went, well, we want to do this, but we really don't want to piss off the U.S. How can we do this and like sort of make sure that they don't do the things that we just joked about, that they were going to invade and liberate El Salvador and, you know, do some sort of a coup and eliminate the president of El Salvador and replace it with some figurehead that the U.S. appoints, because this is what the U.S. does. And I think you're absolutely right. That was them going, yeah, we're going to do this, but alongside the U.S. dollar.
Mm-hmm.
That's probably a very accurate assessment. A bill enabling El Salvador to recognize Bitcoin as legal tender has been submitted. And President Bukele said in a video message that was shown on Saturday at the Bitcoin 2021 conference in Miami, Bukele's political party has firm control of the assembly. In the short term, this will generate jobs and help provide financial inclusion to thousands outside the formal economy. So, yeah, the whole gist of this entire article is El Salvador, Bitcoin is legal tender, apparently. Now, okay, so what?
Yeah, I mean, what does that really mean?
What does that really mean? Well, this from Bitcoin.com. El Salvador offers no capital gains tax and permanent residence to crypto entrepreneurs.
Wow, no capital gains tax is cool.
Right. Now, if you use cryptocurrency, capital gains tax occurs in the United States anyway when you transduce your cryptocurrency into U.S. dollars, is my understanding. I'm not a legal person. I'm not a lawyer. I don't work for the Fed, so that's my understanding of the situation.
I mean, I think their argument would be anytime you make a transaction, it would not necessarily converting to U.S. dollars.
Not currently. The capital gains tax currently kicks in, particularly with the exchanges, right? So I'm talking like Coinbase and all that kind of thing. When you convert your cryptocurrency into U.S. dollars,
wasn't it
that's the only time that it occurs. So if I had some, I don't know, Bitcoin, and I threw it into some crap coin, and it made me 30% profit in that crap coin, and I changed it back into Bitcoin, and my Bitcoin just sat there, no capital gains tax kicks in. It's not until I transduce that cryptocurrency back into USD and put it into a bank account. Not USDT, not like a stable coin or anything, but actual USD, that's when the tax occurs. Because I could choose to just convert some of it, not all of it, right? So it's all about choice in that. The idea here, of course, what I'm trying to get out to people is, if you're going to transact in cryptocurrency, transact in cryptocurrency. Get away from the dollar. Don't transduce it back into the dollar.
Yeah, convince your favorite stores locally to take Bitcoin and help them out.
Start earning it yourself.
Start earning it.
So El Salvador to collect no capital gains tax and offer permanent residence. President Bukele of the Republic of El Salvador made some interesting remarks yesterday on Twitter, where he answered some concerns and questions of people involved in the cryptocurrency businesses. The young politician has put the country in the media spotlight after appearing at the 2021 Bitcoin conference in Miami, announcing he would introduce legislation to make Bitcoin legal tender in the country. Bukele stated that because Bitcoin will be legal tender, there will be no capital gains tax for Bitcoin earnings, something that would entice cryptocurrency entrepreneurs and traders to bring their business to the country. In response, Tron founder Justin Sun declared his organization would be the first crypto group to establish an office in El Salvador. Interesting. I wonder how many other cryptocurrency businesses or even ones that haven't, that'll be startups are going to start an office in El Salvador because of this. 603-283-6160. Are you a crypto entrepreneur? Do you plan to have an office in El Salvador? More Free Talk Live is on the way.
Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
Do you feel like your nation, state, or community no longer holds your values? Have you dreamt of a place where people agree that liberty is important and are free to pursue their projects so long as they respect the property of others? There are many people just like you that are discovering freeprivatecities.com. Their social media links are at the upper right of the page at freeprivatecities.com. All skill levels will be needed when the first of the Free Private Cities opens. It's sooner than you think. Stop arguing and build. freeprivatecities.com.
A newly recruited search and rescue officer, Marshall Hunter was resigned to a life of rescuing wayward spacefarers and derelict satellites. But when a billionaire couple goes missing, his own ship is disabled during the rescue. With communication satellites suddenly failing and lunar mineral shipments disappearing in transit, the crew suspects it's more than a coincidence, and Hunter must choose between salvation and sacrifice to save his crewmates and their civilian charges. Frontier by Patrick Childs and BaneBooks.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way. You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well, I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey.
Who do you think you
Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait
Now.
a minute.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me? Because you scared me. What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get one free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Free speech is protected on the internet, right? Not always. Government agencies try to limit free speech and commerce on the net. Luckily, when they do, the Institute for Justice is there to defend your First Amendment right to free speech. IJ helped set the first federal precedent for internet free speech in 1999, and ever since has worked to prevent unconstitutional roadblocks in cyberspace. Visit our website today at ij.org.
Yep, we still do email. Drop your email address in the entry box at freetalklive.com, and you'll be kept in the loop with Free Talk Live.
It is Free Talk Live. Talk radio that you can control. Well, I don't know about that, but you can certainly call in to 603-283-6160. Did somebody crack a beer?
I think so.
Bonnie, are you drinking Natty Light again?
No, I'm drinking
Natty Ice?
sparkling water.
Oh, all right. I'm just checking. The telephone number, of course, is 603-283-6160. Again, 603-283-6160. In the studio, it's myself, the captain.
Bonnie.
And Chris.
We've been talking about El Salvador, and not only are they making moves or have made moves, I'm unclear as to whether or not it's actually legal currency right now, but Bitcoin, El Salvador wants to make Bitcoin legal currency, and cryptocurrency in general, I believe, would be included within that. But furthermore than just that, they also want to offer immediate residence to crypto entrepreneurs interested in coming to and investing in the country. And they want to make it easier for anyone wanting to build or introduce a startup in the country to set up offices faster and with less paperwork. All of this, I say, yay, and give a round of applause to.
Yay.
We'll talk more about that. But first, Bitcoin.com is your best source for learning about cryptocurrency. You can go there now, click on Get Started right at the top of the page. Once you do that, you will find all sorts of valuable information neatly organized to suit your needs. There's no longer any excuse to ignore this important world-changing information. If you're already a knowledgeable crypto user, you can check out news.bitcoin.com to get the latest headlines of all the news that's relevant to you. Bitcoin.com is your source for everything crypto, like getting a wallet app, mining, trading, and all the latest cryptocurrency news, all on a very slick and easy-to-use website. Visit bitcoin.com. All right. We'll talk more about El Salvador, but first, let's go to Jack, who's calling from New Hampshire. Jack, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Good. What's on your mind?
Always listen to the show. You guys doing a great job.
Thanks.
Hey, I was calling about the conversation you guys were just having about the government seizing property.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when they take your property for illegal activity, even though you haven't gone to trial yet or you are found innocent, they don't give it back. They keep it.
Yeah, we're well aware of this.
Civil asset forfeiture.
It happened. Yeah. It happened to some of us 5 years ago, and we're just getting some of it back now after like a lawsuit.
Yeah, it's crazy. Hey, you guys ever see the movie Kill the Messenger?
That doesn't ring a bell.
No.
It's based on a true story. You guys got to check it out. The CIA knew about people smuggling cocaine into the United States, and it started the whole crack epidemic. And they were funding money back to Nicaragua for the rebels.
Wasn't that
check
not? Wasn't it the CIA doing that? Like, wasn't?
Yes.
Yeah, it wasn't
they
just
were part of it.
Yeah, it wasn't just like they were ignoring people doing it. It
Right,
was
they
like
were actively involved.
Actively
Yeah.
involved doing it. Yeah.
Well, and
it was how they raised funds to fight a war. I think that was kind of under the table, under the radar, like because it wasn't funded through normal means of the U.S. government. So yeah.
I don't know the status of it, but it's my understanding that there may still be United States troops that are protecting poppy fields somewhere in some foreign country.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Anything else, Jack?
No, that's it, man. Hey, thank you, guys.
Hey, thanks for the call.
Thank
We
you.
appreciate it. Yeah. When I say government is the largest criminal on planet Earth, the organization type government is responsible for the most largest and, most outstanding crimes of all time in all of history. The most amount of rape, the most amount of murder, the most amount of, you name the crime, theft fraud, you name the crime, government is responsible for the largest amount. And organizing society using monopoly on force is a horrible idea. A horrible idea. Just open a frickin' history book.
But Captain, there's no other way to do it.
Are you
That's
saying
what I learned in public school.
voluntary interactions are like not a thing?
Voluntary human interactions happen all of the time. In fact, voluntary human interactions are most things most of the time. right? You're driving along, you're like, I'm thirsty. What are you going to do? Oh, I would like to get a beverage. All right. So you pass a place, you're like, oh, I'll stop here.
You're right.
They have beverages.
We should have the government working on that.
Do we need to, should the government be mandating that you stop for a beverage because we can't make the decision for ourselves to stop for a beverage?
How many people drive thirsty every day? We need the government to get on that.
I think you're right. I think we need the government's protection. I think we need a law that mandates that every day on your way to work, you have to stop at, what's your business? Mighty Moose Mart? I think the law should say you have to stop every day at Mighty Moose Mart on your way to work.
What Mighty Moose Mart, or you in particular, Bonnie, should do is spend a bunch of money to lobby politicians to get this particular law put in place. And that would give you a leg up on all of your competition as a business as well. And you might even crush some bigger competitors than yourself if you were to do this.
Yes. There's probably someone driving thirsty right now.
There probably is.
And that's a threat.
That's
to everybody. Your kids are going to die.
You're distracted if you're driving thirsty.
Exactly.
DWT, driving with thirst.
That's why you should support this new law.
That's how it works.
Yep.
So
it's called brainwashing.
And why aren't people screaming from the rooftops if that's true, Captain, that government is the biggest murderer, rapist, theft on earth? I think I have an idea of why. And the last caller kind of gave me an idea about it.
Well, the syndromes I call cognitive Stockholm dissonance syndrome. Now, I put them all together because cognitive dissonance and Stockholm syndrome are the two syndromes, if you will, the two things that attribute to people not shouting from the rooftops like, well, I am basically, right? Me talking about this on the radio to, over 200 radio station or around 200 radio stations nationwide, countless numbers of folks listening online, watching on our internet streams, and some satellite channels as well. This is my form of standing on the rooftops and screaming this out because this to me seems like the best way to let people know what I have found. You have been deceived by these organizations calling themselves governments into believing, cult-like believing, that they are necessary in order for society to exist. Society and government are two completely separate different things. All society is people. That's it. It's just people. Right? Government is a completely separate organization. You can have society without government. It's totally possible.
You can even have roads without government.
You can.
Yes.
And they existed before government.
What I was going to say was because the last caller, he's been victimized by the government. He's been in court and they brought up fake past charges that he had and they used it against him and things like that. I think that people don't shout from the rooftops until they're the government or they're the victim of government because they think it can never happen to them until it does.
Yep. And then they're alone. And then they fail because they were not standing up and fighting for everybody.
More Free Talk Live is coming up.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com. The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com. Bitcoin.com has launched a trading platform at local.bitcoin.com, allowing you to buy or sell Bitcoin Cash via dozens of payment methods like PayPal, Venmo, bank deposit, remittances, or meeting in person with cash. There are no ID requirements to sign up for and use the site, and all communications between buyers and sellers are encrypted. Finally, a global trading platform that respects your privacy. Visit local.bitcoin.com to get started trading Bitcoin Cash. local.bitcoin.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
Got Telegram? You can follow our channel there and discuss show prep with other listeners at telegram.freetalklive.com.
Yeah, it is Free Talk Live. Talk radio that you can sort of control. You could call in and talk about anything that's on your mind. You don't have to talk about what we were talking about. You can, of course, but you can talk about anything at all. The telephone number is 603-283-6160. Again, 603-283-6160. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the Reverend Captain Kickass. Joining me,
it's Bonnie.
And Chris.
We've been talking about many things tonight. Most recently, we were talking about El Salvador and the fact that it seems they're legalizing Bitcoin as legal tender, but then also offering some incentives for cryptocurrency entrepreneurs to come and set up shop there, as well as startup companies and that type of a thing, make it easier on them than other countries, other states, if you will. Now, it's still a government, of course, but I certainly welcome cryptocurrency to be widely accepted, because the more it gets accepted, the less of the large crimes that we've talked about last segment can be committed by these insane organization types calling themselves governments. So that includes war. So if you don't like war, if you're against war, if you think bombing people in foreign countries for oil is wrong, then stop using the state's money. Start using cryptocurrency. That's really it. I do want to, speaking of cryptocurrency, we've been talking a lot about it. I want to tell everybody that on March 16th, 2021, government agencies conspired together and raided the Free Talk Live studio, where I'm sitting right now. They also raided the Bitcoin Embassy, the homes of Aria DiMezzo, Renee and Andy Spinella, and Colleen Fordham. The Crypto Six were arrested and taken into custody. Ian Freeman spent 69 days hostage, despite the fact that, supposed to be innocent until proven guilty. And the person named Nobody, formerly known as Rich Paul, remains a hostage to this day. What can you do to help? Well, you can visit thecrypto6.com. There's multiple ways in which you can donate to their legal defense fund because the charges these people face are not a joke. It's going to take a serious legal team and many experts to protect the Crypto Six from further aggression from the state. This case is very likely to set precedent that is going to affect the world of cryptocurrency for decades to come. You can help them in their fight for liberty and financial freedom by visiting thecrypto6.com. Again, thecrypto6.com. We'll talk more about El Salvador and many other things, but first, let us go to Mike, who's calling from Wisconsin. Mike, you're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Mike.
Mic check.
No, we lost Mike. Mike is gone. Mike, I don't know if we're having issues here, but we have a rule of only one call per night, but since you didn't actually get on the air, you are free to call back again and see if we can get you on the air. I'll have our engineering team take a look at the phone system, make sure it's operating properly. All right, so we were speaking about El Salvador. I just want to say I think it's awesome that at least somewhere, somebody is recognizing there's a term in the technology world for when a new technology comes out.
Utilization?
No, it's called the first mover advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So when, email came out, right? This was a new technology. Nobody had ever heard of it. And the companies who got in on it first made more money than those who waited to get in on it a little bit later. They put themselves in a better position to utilize the technology and understand it, and therefore they're better off as a result. It makes my heart all warm and fuzzy inside to see something like an El Salvador go, yeah, you know what, we're just going to do this because we know it does function as a currency. We know that people are using it. They're going to use it regardless of what governments do. Governments have been trying to take down cryptocurrencies for over a decade now with, I mean, the score is 0. Government 0, cryptocurrencies, thousands. Over 10,000 cryptocurrencies, I believe, exist, and more are being invented every day. So, yeah.
Wouldn't it be really cool to see, the script flipped and El Salvador becomes, the highest GDP and, the best standard of living?
It's actually kind of interesting that you should say that. Theoretically, something like that could happen if things go the way they may be appearing to go when it comes to inflation and the US dollar collapsing and so on. I'm not saying it is going to happen, but if it does,
if individuals decide to use cryptocurrency, it's as easy as downloading an app, a wallet, Edge Wallet. Go find that, download it, figure out how to get some cryptocurrency, and then you can buy some right in the app itself.
Super easy to use.
There's a whole bunch of other wallets out there too. It's just that's the one that is common around here that we use a lot. Go and get one of if people decide to use cryptocurrency, right, it will force these organizations known as governments to begin competing with each other to provide goods and services that they currently provide by use of force. And that only bodes well for the human population, right? Because these organizations known as governments claim to provide goods and services at the behest of coercion, at the behest of a gun, through taxation, through theft of your life force, because that's what money is supposed to represent. If people decide, no, I'm no longer using government currency, I'm going to use the people's currency, I'm going to use cryptocurrency, because it doesn't belong to any government. Governments can't inflate it. They can't use it to borrow to fund their wars. It's going to force these states, these governments, to have to compete with each other in order to remain a viable organization at all.
And we were talking earlier about how the FBI, steals from people and keeps it. Well, if they don't have that anymore, if they don't have a monetary incentive to do such a thing, maybe they'll go be productive somewhere. Maybe they'll quit stealing from people.
Here's the thing. One of the things that crypto does is it makes it harder for the government to steal from everyone. Right?
Right.
It's not that they can't necessarily come into your house and steal your crypto. They potentially can. However, it becomes extraordinarily more difficult to do so when you have to go into everybody's house and steal their crypto, right?
Yes.
Like it's much easier when the government says they basically call up the bank and they say, freeze these accounts.
A lot of people don't know that the government can just do that.
Yeah, and they do it all the time, in fact.
Yeah.
It's a lot harder if they have to raid every single house every time they want to freeze a bank account or steal money from you. This enables everybody, if we work together, to hinder that theft.
Yeah, and I'd like to make something else clear since we're talking about cryptocurrency, and I haven't been on the program for a few days. There was a pipeline that was supposedly ransomware, and the ransom was paid in cryptocurrency, Bitcoin specifically. There were several articles that said something along the lines of the government cracked Bitcoin and was able to recover, 75% of the ransom that was taken. That is not true. The government did not crack Bitcoin. Bitcoin itself is unhackable, or at least has proven to be unhackable to this day. What the government did, of course, was figure out somebody's password on an exchange.
It wasn't even that. So what happened was effectively the government. So
in the same way a hacker hacks your cell phone, they get your password or your, whatever it is you key in to access your phone. In that exact same way, that's all the government did. They just obtained somebody's password, and then the funds were there, and they took them.
It was even less complicated than that. So basically, the crypto went to what's called an exchange, and the money was taken from the exchange because the exchange handed it right over to the government. Had that crypto gone to somebody's personal wallet, it would not have been seizable.
Right. Correct. Yes. Absolutely. 603-283-6160.
Don't use exchanges that cooperate with the government.
Couldn't agree more.
Exactly.
More Free Talk Live coming up.
We have some good news. The indictments against Ross Ulbricht in the District of Maryland were dismissed with prejudice, meaning they can never be refiled. This is especially good because those indictments contain the only charge ever made that Ross engaged in murder for hire. This was a serious allegation that Ross Ulbricht denies. It was never prosecuted or ruled on by a jury, but was trumpeted by the federal government and the media as if it were proven fact. The Maryland court held these indictments for almost 5 years, poisoning Ross's case and leaving him under a cloud of unproven allegations. As explained in Ross's appeal to the Supreme Court, the fact that the judge used these allegations to give Ross a draconian sentence of double life without parole violated his Sixth Amendment right to a jury trial. Judges are required to issue sentences based on convictions decided by a jury, not unproven allegations never even charged at trial. Although this is a positive development, the dropped indictment will not set Ross free. Now, a presidential pardon is Ross's only hope of freedom. Sign the petition at freeross.org. freeross.org.
I'm crazy about My Magic Mud. This is the most important oral care product created this millennium, and I'm not kidding. We all have different opinions on politics and issues, but we all have mouths, and I want yours to be as clean as possible with teeth as bright as they were meant to be. I will never be without My Magic Mud. It's a little surprising, but man, does it work. If you only listen to one thing I say ever, go to mymagicmud.com and get 20% off with code FTL. mymagicmud.com, code FTL.
The LRN.FM social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
On March 16th of this year, a joint government task force raided the New Hampshire Bitcoin Embassy, the Mighty Moose Mart, the homes of Aria DiMezzo, Andy and Renee Spinella, Colleen Fordham, a grandmother, and perhaps most relevant, the studios of Free Talk Live. The Crypto Six were arrested, most were released, but Rich Paul, also known as Nobody, and Ian Freeman both remain in custody. We've been in contact with attorneys that say no crime even appears to have been committed, but that didn't stop the Joint Thug Task Force from ripping out wires from the back of our broadcast stacks, taking Free Talk Live off the air, violating our and your First Amendment rights. You can go to thecrypto6.com and donate to fight against these charges, but as importantly, contact media and tell them about this outrage. This case is likely to set precedent for the use of cryptocurrency well into the future. Help our fight for liberty and financial freedom at thecrypto6.com.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
There are basically two types of advertising, direct response and branding. Radio's great for direct response with its low cost to listener ratio, but audio can't be beat for branding, which is a longer term endeavor. You want to be the first thing that someone thinks of when they think about your product or service. If you have a local business that you want kept top of mind in your community, call the station. If you need national reach, Free Talk Live's got around 200 radio stations, millions of monthly listening sessions, can suit all budgets, and if we don't think we're right for you, we'll tell you. Email me, mark@freetalklive.com.
Do you appreciate what we do? Help us advertise, market, and promote for just $5 a month at amp.freetalklive.com.
There once was a man from Nantucket. Oh, I don't think I should finish that here, live on the air.
Is there a bad word in it?
Well, there's several, actually. There might be, depending on what the FCC deems inappropriate. But for those of you who know how that particular poem finishes, why, you're welcome. And I'm sorry, simultaneously. This is Free Talk Live. The telephone number is 603-283-6160 if you want to dial in and be part of the show. Get your voice on the air. Talk about whatever's on your mind. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Bonnie.
And Chris.
Sounded like you had something to say, Chris.
I just think it's always funny when you say, do you have a rotary phone?
I do not.
Does anybody have a rotary phone out there?
I'm sure they exist. In fact, when I was house hunting, a little over a year or so ago, a couple of houses that I went and saw, like one of them it was an old rotary phone and it was in a barn. It was disconnected, obviously didn't work, but it was there. And then another one had one that was working.
Now the next question is, can you even get pulse service anymore? And do you even have any idea what that is? Does anybody have any idea?
I do know what those things are. I believe that you can. In fact, there is it's famous for chili. I'm not going to name the name, but it's famous for chili. It's in the Georgetown area of Seattle. They, behind the bar, have an old school, it looks like black cast iron rotary phone, and it still works. If somebody calls the bar at this chili shack, and you hear the ring, and you're like, that sounds like an ancient ring. And it is.
Why does the ring sound different?
Well, because it's an analog bell.
Yeah.
Like it's a mechanical thing inside of the phone. When the electrical impulse comes across the phone line, right, a little arm actually goes and hits the bell and it goes ding, 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 really fast, right? So it's an actual analog bell instead of a fake sound that's played over a speaker. There's actually a little bell inside of this contraption.
Cute.
Yeah. That's how phones worked back in the day.
That's how all phones worked back in the day.
So... But again, if you want to use your phone, 603-283-6160. We've been talking about El Salvador, of all places, going to make cryptocurrency legal tender, and also doing things that, like offering immediate residence to crypto entrepreneurs interested in coming in and investing in the country. This would make it easier for anyone wanting to build or introduce a startup in the country to set up offices faster and with less paperwork. So they're offering incentives now in addition to making it legal tender. While all of this seems like just talk to some, Bukele has the power to make it real. His political party, Grand Alliance for National Unity, recently won the parliamentary elections with a staggering advantage. He controls more than 70% of the Legislative Assembly, so any law project supported by him is likely to be fast-tracked.
No, I am kind of curious. Is this MI 13, or is this like the government, like what they, like which government is it? Because like I know like MI 13, which is like a gang in El Salvador, kind of runs the show.
Oh, yeah.
So
it is weird how outside of the U.S. there can be, these sort of militias, gangs, if you will, and that eventually they become governments.
Yeah, that's kind of why I'm kind of
like they get older and they're no longer teenagers with guns, and now they're like adults with guns. They're like, oh, we should be a government.
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering, do you have to pay the MI 13 tax as well? Even though you're exempt from one of those taxes.
Well, in Mexico, I know that you have to like pay off the cartels if you own businesses.
Well, right, and that's what I'm kind of wondering. Do you have to pay off MI 13 gang on, even though you don't have to pay off the government here?
I have no familiarity with El Salvador and their governance whatsoever.
Me either.
Outside of this offer to cryptocurrency entrepreneurs. Contrary to the stance more and more countries are adopting about cryptocurrencies, Bukele is profiling El Salvador as a cryptocurrency-friendly country with this move. The young politician definitely has the power and disposition to do so, according to many. With countries like the U.S. and China constantly targeting cryptocurrency startups and businesses with stringent or unclear regulatory frameworks, or even, performing no-knock raids violently on properties and arresting people just for the simple exchange of cryptocurrencies. Sorry, I ad-libbed. That's not in the article. The proposal of El Salvador is poised to attract money from startups and projects now interested in establishing a presence in a crypto-friendly state. This move breaks with the trend of states and nations planning their own central bank digital currencies, which are not cryptocurrencies, by the way. Just because a government's currency says it's a digital currency doesn't make it a cryptocurrency.
Spot on.
Anyway, the function is to be a global digital complement for the existing fiat currencies. Speaking of these state digital currencies, which, by the way, most state currencies are already digital, right? Yeah, they have some physical currency that they print, but there is not enough printed, minted coins, printed dollars in existence in the world to account for the amount of United States dollars that are on the books. It just doesn't exist. The majority of the United States dollars are already digital. At any rate, while the move is still only a proposal, it might mark a trend reversal, making other countries consider adopting an already established cryptocurrency to power their economies. It seems to be already working. Carlos Riala, a deputy of Paraguayan National Congress, recently stated that he would be presenting a crypto-related important project to advance Paraguay to the forefront of world innovation. So I like this. This is one of the rare times when the predictable monkey see, monkey do of states, governments, might be helpful. And I say that because if they pull this off, these two countries might spark other countries to do the same, because usually when one politician sees another politician doing a thing and they get some press for it, they get some votes, they get, they go, oh, that's what can we use for my campaign? I got a campaign. I got to run for re-election, right?
Not that this is anything concrete, but other Central American and maybe South American politicians have been changing their profile pictures on Twitter to laser eyes, which
Really?
If anybody didn't know, it's people change their profile pictures to laser eyes, and it means lasering in on Bitcoin ever being worth 100,000.
Yes, I have that on one of my social media profiles, and
I have it on all of mine.
not all of them, but on one of them, and I'm not taking it off until it hits 100,000.
I'm going to keep it. It's cool.
I mean, I don't know how cool it is, but
I made yours, and it is cool.
Well, you did, and I mean, it is cool as far as the photo goes, but I would prefer to have actual laser eyes.
Okay.
That does something, right? Can I, cut through, I don't know.
Captain, the fourth Powerpuff Girl.
Captain said. Call me a Powerpuff Girl. I did call you Sammy repeatedly, so I guess.
Yeah, that's fair.
Insults here on Free Talk Live. I didn't come here to be insulted, damn it. Oh, no, you did. Yes, you did. I'm talking to myself, of course. Are you guys, do you think that, we can see cryptocurrency adopted in other countries as legal currency?
Yeah, because eventually the United States can't attack all of them.
Well, I mean, if these countries would just stop becoming countries so close to all of the U.S. bases.
I mean, of course, they're making money off it. That's why they're next to the U.S. bases. But, yeah, I mean, yeah, it's I don't know. We'll see. The whole thing is just, what does this get you, right? What does this get me? I don't know. It's kind of like one of these things where it's am I going to move to El Salvador in order to take advantage of this?
Are you a crypto entrepreneur? Are you developing a coin? Are you in the space? Okay. Well, maybe it doesn't affect you. But what I am enthused about is these pockets of, I wouldn't call them protection, but these pockets of innovation. Right, because innovation is what sparked all of this in the first place, right? Necessity being that mother of innovation, right? It was the fallout of the 2008, we'll call it bubble, right? The financial collapse that happened in 2008 that sparked this whole cryptocurrency thing in the first place, at least according to Satoshi Nakamoto. And so out of that has come this solving of the Byzantine generals problem known as cryptocurrency, known as blockchain.
Yeah, I feel like this is only half of what needs to be done, and there's another half.
Hopefully coming soon.
Yeah, hopefully.
603-283-6160 is the phone number if you'd like to get on the program tonight. Hour number 3 of Free Talk Live is next.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191.
Do you feel like your nation, state, or community no longer holds your values? Have you dreamt of a place where people agree that liberty is important and are free to pursue their projects so long as they respect the property of others? There are many people just like you that are discovering freeprivatecities.com. Their social media links are at the upper right of the page at freeprivatecities.com. All skill levels will be needed when the first of the Free Private Cities opens. It's sooner than you think. Stop arguing and build. freeprivatecities.com.
Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com.
Tired of cancel culture? Sick of mega tech corporations holding an axe over your head? Join the LRN.FM Matrix chat server. It's self-hosted, so no one else can tell us what to do or say. Don't like the existing channels? You can make your own. You can even connect into some of our channels from other Matrix servers. It's federated. For the full LRN.FM Matrix experience, though, you should join our server via the step-by-step instructions at chat.lrn.fm. Chat.lrn.fm.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Investigation underway. I'm Lisa Lacera, Fox News. Lawmakers want to get to the bottom of a Trump-era request for lawmakers' cell phone data as part of a leaks investigation during the Russia probe.
The Justice Department's Inspector General is looking into the seizure of House Democrats' metadata during the Trump administration. Deputy Attorney General Lisa Monaco referred the case to the IG. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer and the chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, Dick Durbin, say former attorneys General Bill Barr and Jeff Sessions must testify under oath to the committee. The demand came after revelations the Trump administration secretly obtained metadata from Democratic members and staff of the House Intelligence Committee as part of a leaks investigation. In Washington, Jared Halpern, Fox News.
President Biden and other world leaders have just wrapped up dinner after their first in-person G7 meeting since he took office. British Prime Minister Boris Johnson on what they'll be focusing on in the next few days.
We need to make sure that we learn the lessons from the pandemic. We need to make sure that we don't repeat some of the errors that we doubtless made in the course of the last 18 months or so.
The White House says G7 leaders will endorse a proposed 15% global minimum corporate tax, though that would need the okay of Congress. A bipartisan group of lawmakers is waiting for input from the White House on the infrastructure plan they agreed to yesterday. Louisiana Republican Senator Bill Cassidy was one of the lawmakers that came up with the proposal.
A lot of it depends upon how we pay for it. We feel like we've come up with pretty reasonable pay fors. We'll have to see if the White House agrees to it.
The $974 billion measure is more comprehensive than one rejected by President Biden earlier this week, but the White House said yesterday details on the agreement's policies and how to pay for it still need to be addressed. America is listening to Fox News.
CuriosityStream is the only streaming service with thousands of documentaries, award-winning and exclusive content that will actually teach you something. And there are new shows every week. This week, check out Doug to the Rescue and That Sugar Film. For just $1.67 per month, you get unlimited access to CuriosityStream's library of content available anytime, anywhere, on any device. Signing up is easy, and if you don't like it, then you can cancel anytime. Sign up now at curiositystream.com/Fox.
Federal officials say millions of Johnson & Johnson COVID vaccines have to be tossed.
The FDA says 60 million J&J vaccine doses cannot be used after they were produced at the Emergent Biosolutions plant in Baltimore. 10 million doses can be used, shipped throughout the U.S. or to other countries, but with a warning that they can't promise that Emergent followed good practices. The plant has been closed since workers there accidentally tainted millions of J&J doses with an ingredient used for AstraZeneca doses. At the same time, the FDA has also extended the expiration date on refrigerated J&J vaccines from 3 months to 4.5 months. Jessica Rosenthal, Fox News.
Italy is recommending the AstraZeneca vaccine only for people over age 60 after government officials looked at data showing in rare cases people who got that vaccine were developing blood clots and saying younger people who got the first dose of AstraZeneca should get a second dose of either Pfizer or Moderna. Boeing's MAX jets are now finding buyers.
Boeing says demand is returning for its 737 MAX jets because domestic air travel has been picking up. United Airlines and Alaska Air Group have purchased unclaimed MAX planes whose buyers walked away or collapsed during the pandemic. The Wall Street Journal says the company now has around 10 stored MAX aircraft needing buyers. Last year, it counted around 100. With more people flying, airlines are adding flights, are hiring back idled crew, and are also starting to expand their fleets. Jenny Cosola, Fox News.
Join liberty-minded voluntarists, anarchists, and libertarians from June 28th through July 4th for ForkFest 2021 at Rogers Campground in the beautiful White Mountains of New Hampshire. ForkFest happens the week after the Porcupine Freedom Festival, and ForkFest is decentralized, which means no one is in charge. That also means there's no ticket cost. Just reserve your camping, RV site, or motel room with Rogers Campground for June 28th through July 4th. Where better to celebrate Independence Day than around other freedom-loving activists in the Shire? You can relax and enjoy the camaraderie of like-minded people, or you can create whatever experience or event you'd like others to have. If you're planning an event for ForkFest, be sure to let others know in advance. You can connect with fellow ForkFesters via the unofficial Telegram chat or the ForkFest forum. Links to those are on the unofficial website, forkfest.party. Mark your calendar for June 28th through July 4th, 2021. We'll see you at forkfest.party.
Pennington is reeling this hour from one of the biggest stories we've seen in decades.
That's right, Kathy. Mayor Sue Hallinan has stepped down following revelations of her involvement in a coupon forging scandal. After a week of fervent denials, Mayor Hallinan admitted that last Thursday she used 5 counterfeit coupons on a weekly shopping trip to the Kroger for a savings totaling $14.81.
Once you've made a fake coupon and you've had a taste of that power, it's hard to stop.
Mayor Hallinan also apologized for her first response to the controversy when she blamed Jared the paperboy for stealing her coupons and replacing them with the fakes.
I don't know what to say. She could have ruined my career. I hope she goes to jail forever.
And in what many are saying is the ultimate indignity, Mayor Hallinan's photo has been put up on the Kroger's so-called banishment wall in between such undesirables as the Fredericks boy and infamous gum thief, Mr. Ivins.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live. Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
Free Talk Live.
Do your best Powerpuff Girl voice.
Free Talk Live. I have no idea. I don't know what a Powerpuff Girl really is.
I guess.
And also, like, I believe it's a cartoon, right?
Yes.
All right. Because when you said it earlier in the show, you accused me of being a Powerpuff Girl. All I could imagine in my head was what are they called? Power Rangers?
Oh.
Like the pink one?
Yeah. Was that one even a girl? I've never seen those.
I assume so because it was pink, but I don't know for a fact.
I'm pretty sure it was.
I never watched those.
I think that was before your time.
Well, one of my older brothers did. But yeah, he's a little bit older than me.
All right, anyway, welcome back to the program. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the captain.
It's Bonnie.
And Chris.
If you want to call, you can dial 603-283-6160 and join us here on the air. Before we get into the next thing, I want to tell you that for years, libertarians of all stripes have wanted a directory of liberty-minded businesses. Well, we're helping to build one. It's called Liberty.menu. Liberty.menu is a tool for your community at its core. It's a directory for events, businesses, and digital content plus. Listings can be rated and reviewed, and there's a bit of social network to it, so you can connect and share with others. The use of Liberty.menu, however, is exclusively for individuals who reject the initiation of force and those who agree to abide by the ethics of the non-aggression principle. You can put your voluntarist ideas into action over at liberty.menu. Use code FTL to get a special badge. That's liberty.menu. All right, so we've talked about, what do we talk about? We talked about the FBI, government in general, asset forfeiture, them seizing, people's goods from this raid that they did, the FBI in like Beverly Hills. We talked about El Salvador. A couple of things there that they're trying to make cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, a legal tender, and they're also offering incentives to crypto entrepreneurs to set up their businesses or even start up new businesses, make it as easy as possible on them to do so, and that's big. We've also talked about, what we haven't talked about tonight, I guess, is anything related to the vaccines, and I've got a couple of things on that. The first is from Forbes. Now, this talk show, because it's called Free Talk Live, it generally comes from the perspective of peace and freedom, liberty, right? Financial freedom, all that kind of stuff. We have a large libertarian following. And this one might confuse some folks because a lot of libertarians are pro-gun, but they're also like, I wouldn't say anti-vax, but they want to be able to choose whether or not to put something into their body instead of having it forced upon them in some way, shape, or form by governments, for example.
It's more like libertarians standing up for anti-vaxxers as opposed to being anti-vaxxers.
That is true. Yeah. It kind of goes back. Like some libertarians are like, yeah, I'm vaccinated, and some are like, no, I'd never take that. So it's kind of.
I mean, there's a difference between believing all vaccines are created by the devil and believing that certain vaccines are unsafe versus other vaccines.
Well, and also people who don't want to take the COVID vaccine are becoming labeled as anti-vaxxers, even though they're fully vaxxed otherwise.
Right.
So, like, that's a bit of a misnomer out there to all you lefties who are guilty of such.
All the other vaccines were tested for longer than 6 months before they rolled out.
Correct.
Yeah, I'm not vaccinated, but I'm not against getting vaccinated, but I'm definitely waiting for certain things to unfold and certain more traditional vaccines to come out, and they're not here yet.
Yeah, I wasn't going to put this thing into my system. Now, I had COVID and I beat it, right? So, and by beat it, I mean like I was in no danger at all ever. But now that my body has built up an immunity to it, I don't feel the need to get vaccinated.
Yeah, I'm kind of the same way. I'm not even 100% sure I had it, but I probably did.
I know that I did. Yeah.
And
I'm confident.
I have to say, I'm not like rushing out to get vaccinated.
So this might confuse the libertarians, as I alluded to, but West Virginia to give away guns as a COVID-19 vaccine incentive.
I was laughing because I was wondering what state you were talking about that was going to do this. Of course, it was West Virginia.
Why do you say, of course, it was West Virginia?
It just sounds like a thing they would do to give away guns.
I mean... So, how do I put this?
It's the wild, wild West Virginia.
I mean, it's like Kickville, right? Like, that's the whole stereotype of West Virginia.
It is a southern state, yes.
Yeah, so.
Is it Hickville? I don't know. What's your definition of Hickville?
Hey, I'm just saying what the stereotype is.
You're stereotyping.
I'm not.
He's from New Jersey.
I'm not actually calling anybody from Virginia or West Virginia Hicks. Just to be clear.
I do know people from West Virginia, and I mean, like every other southern place, people, they must be Hicks, right? Because they got the accent.
I know that people from West Virginia really hate being associated with Virginia.
Yeah.
Every state has their like neighborly rivals.
So when it comes to things like people ask, the government's there to protect you in the event of invasion from foreign armies and that kind of thing, foreign militaries. If that were true, then the government would do everything it can to arm every citizen within its borders.
Yep.
Because Military Strategy 101 says the hardest place to take over for any military is a heavily armed population. Right? So if governments really had your best interests in mind when it comes to being invaded and taken over by a foreign country, they would do everything they can to arm citizens with guns. They would instead of banning guns from schools, which they did some time ago, they would have gun safety courses in public schools. They would almost make it mandatory for you to own a gun as a citizen, or perhaps they would try and make it mandatory, and then if you decided not to own one, they would prosecute you for it. I'm just saying that a heavily armed populace, it's well known by military strategists everywhere, is the hardest place to defend. So a government giving away guns is an interesting concept to me from that perspective.
The government gives away guns all the time. Look at the Fast and Furious.
But not to citizens, not to U.S. citizens.
Yeah, just to both sides of conflicts in the Middle East.
So here's a question: is this men, women, and children?
What, the government?
Yeah, with the guns in Virginia, are they giving it to men, women, and children, or is it excluding children, or is it excluding women?
I don't know. Let's find out.
I'm kind of curious now. Is it all three groups, or is it two of the three? Is it one of the three?
As states throughout the U.S. launch campaigns to try and convince residents to get the COVID-19 vaccine with $1 million lotteries, college scholarships, free beer, and amusement park tickets topping the list. Also, I don't know if you guys heard, Washington State is doing joints for jabs. So they're giving away a free pre-rolled marijuana joint if you go and you get the vaccine. Yeah, that's right. Joints for jabs. At first, governments were like, oh, marijuana bad, marijuana illegal, you go to jail for marijuana. And now they're going, hey, if you get the vaccine, we'll give you some marijuana.
That's going to be an awful high when you're sitting at home having COVID-like reactions. And your left arm is numb.
Oh, yeah, and if your taste goes away and you're really stoned and you try and eat some Doritos or something, you can't
You're going to be
taste them.
pissed.
You know what would be funny is to do guns and weed, the two of them.
Ooh.
Guns and Weed Talk Live.
Yeah. Let's do both.
So, West Virginia, the state, will give away 5 custom hunting rifles and 5 custom shotguns through its lottery, with the drawings taking place on June 20th for Father's Day. There will be a series of lottery drawings taking place weekly from June 20th through August 4th, for which any West Virginian who's received at least 1 dose of the COVID-19 vaccine will be eligible to register. What? 2? Why? If I keep seeing this with these incentive programs. You've received at least 1. You're eligible. It's like, I thought that you had to get 2 for it to be effective, according to all the crap that was spewed by the media about the second dose. The second dose is very important. Well, if it's so important, how come you're not incentivizing that?
So it sounds like children can are part of this then. So children might get these guns.
I would imagine that, I don't know if there's some 14-year-old kid.
Yeah.
I mean, I imagine
I wouldn't
he's got
call
to
it
get
child, but
yeah. I imagine if he's got to get his parents' permission somehow or whatever. But yeah, if he got the jab and his name was entered,
certainly somebody under 18, I think, would be interesting.
603-283-6160. Would you get the jab for a gun?
The Terran Federation and the Terran League have been killing each other for decades. Sheltered, wealthy, and light years from the threat, the members of the 500 have no interest in changing that. When Rear Admiral Terrence Murphy is given governorship of a backwater system, a risk-free path to wealth and power is his for the taking. But Murphy is a man of honor, duty, and responsibility. He intends to stop the killing, whatever the cost. Governor, by David Weber and Richard Fox, from BaneBooks.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless free market non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Some of you asked, and now we've delivered. LRN.FM's live Keene, New Hampshire studio shows are now streamed in HD on Twitch. Visit our channel at twitch.lrn.fm and give it a follow. If you have Amazon Prime, you get 1 free subscription on Twitch. If you use it on our channel, Twitch will give LRN.FM a monthly piece of your Prime subscription cost. So please watch, follow, share, and subscribe to twitch.lrn.fm. That's twitch.lrn.fm.
Do you feel like your nation, state, or community no longer holds your values? Have you dreamt of a place where people agree that liberty is important and are free to pursue their projects so long as they respect the property of others? There are many people just like you that are discovering freeprivatecities.com. Their social media links are at the upper right of the page at freeprivatecities.com. All skill levels will be needed when the first of the Free Private Cities opens. It's sooner than you think. Stop arguing and build. freeprivatecities.com.
Hey guys, Mark Claire here, lionsofliberty.com, where we strive to advance the ideas of liberty daily. We bring you the Morning Roar. That's right, every Monday to Friday we'll have a brand new edition of the Morning Roar, where we provide a roundup of some news stories that you may not find in the mainstream media or even in your typical social media newsfeed. We find stories that relate to the ideas of liberty and provide you with our liberty perspective on them. Every Monday, we have our longest-running feature, Mondays with Murray, named after the great libertarian Murray Rothbard, where we'll examine an article or an excerpt from his works and help convey his view, along with our little spin as well. We wrap it all up every Friday with Felony Friday, where our own John Odermatt goes out and takes a look at some sort of felony. There's felonies committed every day, whether it's a felony committed by the police, a politician, or even an average citizen. You can find all of this and so much more over at lionsofliberty.com, advancing the ideas of liberty daily.
If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com to receive our usually weekly news updates by email. Plus, we have a Twitter account at twitter.freetalklive.com, and you can follow us on the decentralized Mastodon platform at toot.freetalklive.com. So please follow us at toot.freetalklive.com and sign up for our emails at news.freetalklive.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you are helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com.
Our Matrix server is about as free as internet chat can be. Join the existing rooms or create your own at chat.freetalklive.com.
Welcome back to the program. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. It is Free Talk Live. The telephone number here is 603-283-6160 if you'd like to be part of the program. We are a talk radio show where you can call in and take control of the airwaves, talk about whatever's on your mind. In the studio tonight, it's myself, the Reverend Captain Kickass, joining me.
It's Bonnie.
And Chris.
Before we go on, this year, we launched social.freetalklive.com, our very own social media platform. Big tech companies have been dominating this space and controlling people's speech. We're sick of it. You deserve a space where your opinions are welcome, whatever they are. You don't have to be a libertarian or voluntarist to sign up and post to social.freetalklive.com, though obviously you'll find lots of freedom lovers on the site. You are invited to join us at social.freetalklive.com. We're running the decentralized open source federated Mastodon software, the gold standard of independent social media on the internet. Many of you have already signed up and posted, but did you take the time to download one of the apps that are available for Android, iOS, Windows, Mac, or Linux? There are multiple options because of the open source nature of Mastodon, so you can try more than one app and see which one is your favorite. Visit social.freetalklive.com to get started. Again, social.freetalklive.com.
For iPhone, I like Amarok. AMAROQ.
Amarok?
What is that?
It's my app I use to use social.freetalklive.com.
What am I using? I'm using Tusky.
Is that
on the Android?
That's Mastodon?
Yeah, it's the Mastodon thing. But
okay, it's the Mastodon client. Okay.
Client, yeah, but it's for iPhone.
Nice. So we've been talking about this article from Forbes about the state of West Virginia to give away guns as a COVID-19 vaccine incentive. We've heard of everything, right? Beer, weed. What else? What are the other incentives? I don't remember them all. Guns now. Donuts, right? Yeah.
I can't remember. Other junk food, but I just can't remember right now. Like
true.
Maybe burgers.
Well, so apparently they're having some sort of a lottery, and any West Virginian who's received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine will be eligible to register. The lottery will also give one resident $1 million. Oh, that's right. The actual money, right? Like cash people are giving away.
Well,
They're
currency.
Currency. Yes, thank you. As other states have done, along with prizes like full ride scholarships, custom trucks, and lifetime hunting and fishing licenses.
Wait, is this just West Virginia? Because that's even more hilarious. Custom trucks, guns, and hunting and fishing licenses.
Lifetime hunting and fishing licenses.
Wow, that would be really cool.
Can you imagine?
I mean, not hunting. I don't like hunting.
Right, but can you imagine, like, you know, you're like a young father right now, and your son, as he grows up, he has to renew his hunting or fishing license. He's like, Dad, how come you don't have to pay to renew your hunting and fishing license? Well, son, I got the jab back in 2021, and they gave me a lifetime license for hunting and fishing.
That's also why I have 5 arms.
Which I would also like to just point out that is it doesn't cost the government anything to give a lifetime license. Licensing is when the government takes away your right to do something like hunt or fish and then sells it back to you for a price and then makes you renew it every year just so that they can extract more revenue from you. It's another form of tax.
Yep.
I just got my driver's license today.
Another form of tax.
I'm
$50
so sorry.
Yeah.
$50, little man. Put that here in my hand.
I'm not a little man. Is this because I called you a Powerpuff Girl?
Hey, Sammy Hagar isn't the tallest guy in the world. In addition to its lottery, West Virginia is also giving away $100 in savings bonds, worthless, or gift cards to everyone ages 16 to 35 in the state who's fully vaccinated. You know what? If you're a state representative or you're involved in any sort of state government or federal government at any level in any country, how about you give away some cryptocurrency in exchange for the jab? How about that? How about you do that?
Oh, yeah. Since this is a regional thing, they give away weed in Washington. They give away guns and fishing licenses in West Virginia. Give away cryptocurrency in New Hampshire. Please.
I'm so conflicted about this. Like, on the one hand, it's like, you shouldn't be incentivizing people. And then on the other hand, it's like, I do like the story headline that it reads, New Hampshire gives away cryptocurrency.
Here's an incentive I haven't heard yet. Ammunition. Government's got lots of it. They're the number one purchaser of it.
Oh, you know what we could do is we could do a giveaway for those who refuse to get the jab.
Ooh. I wonder if we could do, what do they call it? A raffle. Right?
Yeah.
Interesting. You work on that. Go ahead and make that happen.
Oh, why do I have good ideas?
It's a good question. The big number, 51.1%. That's the percentage of West Virginians who have so far received at least one dose of the COVID-19 vaccine, according to the state health department, or approximately 915,000 people. Blah, blah, blah.
In all of America? 915,000?
No, in the state of West Virginia.
Oh, wow. There's that many people there?
There's more than that, yeah. Surprising fact, West Virginia's giveaway isn't the only vaccine incentive related to guns. Illinois has also set up a mobile vaccination site at a shooting range in the state and is giving away 100 free targets to anyone who gets the vaccine there.
That's pretty lame.
So let's see, they have a list here. Some of the other vaccine incentives have ranged from free beer in New Jersey, free Six Flags tickets in Illinois, multi-million-dollar cash lotteries in states like Ohio and Oregon. States prizes targeting demographics like gun owners could also help combat vaccine hesitancy. Vaccine hesitancy. Why would somebody be hesitant to put something that hasn't been tested into their body? That's being incentivized heavily with marketing campaigns and incentives by the largest violator of human rights on the planet. I wonder why anybody would have a problem with that. It's an interesting question.
Sufficiently is definitely the key word there.
All right, I've read enough of this. I said I had 2 things related to vaccines, and that was number 1. Every now and again, folks send me stuff. The Big Kahuna sent me this one. This from U.S. News. Skull and crossbones sign given to unvaccinated in rural India.
What the heck?
Can you say scarlet letter, anyone?
Star of David.
Star of David, scarlet letter. Good, I knew you could.
There was a story in New Hampshire similar to that where it wasn't crossbones, but they were marking the arms of prom goers.
Right, who weren't vaccinated with Sharpie or whatever, right? Numbering them.
It was very disturbing.
You're student 142 that didn't get vaccinated. You must have this stamp on your arm. What does that remind you of? Anyone? Bueller? Does it remind you of anything? Numbers, serial numbers on your arm, maybe?
Nazi Germany.
So crazy.
Weird.
Yeah.
The world is so crazy right now.
No Jews, extermination camps.
I mean, if 4 dudes on horses showed up calling themselves the 4 horsemen of the apocalypse, I might be inclined to believe them. The world is nuts right now. 603-283-6160 is the phone number. What incentive would you accept to put the vaccine into your body? More Free Talk Live is on the way.
Carl Watner, longtime proponent of a voluntary society, died last December. You may have seen his articles published on his website, voluntarist.com, in his newsletter, The Voluntarist, the Mises Institute, or elsewhere over the last 40 years. His newest book, I Must Speak Out, Volume 2, The Best of the Voluntarist, is now available via Liberty Under Attack Publications. This 430-page second volume spans the years of 2000 through 2020 and includes articles by Carl Watner, Hans Hermann Hoppe, Carl Hess, Benjamin Tucker, George H. Smith, Lysander Spooner, Pete Eyre, Joyce Brand, and many others. I Must Speak Out is for the newly initiated, the veteran voluntarist, or anywhere in between. Buy the book now at libertyunderattack.com/voluntarist. For more great content on building a voluntary society and for Carl's extensive archives, check out voluntarist.com.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, connect with others via the forum at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. The LRN.FM's social media channels have been revamped. We've eliminated Facebook and focused on other platforms like Twitter and Mastodon, the decentralized alternative to Twitter. On our accounts, you'll find posts from multiple LRN.FM show hosts together in one place. Follow us on Twitter at twitter.lrn.fm, or better yet, move to the decentralized Mastodon social media platform at toot.lrn.fm, toot.lrn.fm. I think you'll like it.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. Physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com.
You can stick it to the man and big tech. Join our FTL social mastodon at social.freetalklive.com.
How many tough guys does it take to change a light bulb? None, because tough guys aren't afraid of the dark.
None, because the Powerpuff Girls will do it.
I believe the Powerpuff Girls are all now groupies for Sammy Hagar. I'm not sure how that happened, but yeah, I'm pretty sure that's how it's going down. 603-283-6160 is the telephone number if you would like to join us here on Free Talk Live.
Isn't he dead, Sammy Hagar?
Aren't the Powerpuff Girls fictional?
And they're only 5 years old.
Well, Sammy Hagar is like grandfatherly, so he's got to be 70 or something.
Oh, he's not dead? I thought he died a few years ago.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe he did. I'm not a big Sammy Hagar fan.
Neither.
All I really know about him was that he replaced, what was his name? David Lee Roth in Van Halen and became the singer for Van Halen, which everybody then, of course, referred to as Van Hagar because, Sammy Hagar was his last name. And so, yeah, it made sense to call them that at that point. And that's really all I know about the guy. Oh, he did, of course, have a solo career prior to joining Van Halen and becoming Van Hagar. So that's his song was I Can't Drive 55. That was before he joined Van Halen.
I hate the 80s.
I do too, largely, except for thrash metal that came out of there.
Wait a minute, you weren't even alive in the 80s.
I just hate the 80s music.
I hate the over-decorated nature of everybody from the 80s, right? Everybody wore like 75 earrings and ear clasps and, 8,000 bracelets and 75 bandanas tied around one leg.
I love that. If I could dress like an Egyptian pharaoh or something every day, I would.
These people did not look like Egyptian pharaohs.
There's good things from the 80s, and then there's not so good things from the 80s.
Well, I was born in 72, and I had to live through them, and I got to tell you, the amount of crappy music that I was subjected to during that time was horrible. It was horrifying. I'm traumatically affected by the whole thing. I believe I suffer from musical PTSD as a result. Anyway, we've been talking about all sorts of fun things, but recently vaccinations in the last segment, and we mentioned this article from usnews.com, skull and crossbones sign given to unvaccinated in rural India. Police in rural India have made some citizens who have not been vaccinated against the coronavirus wear signs with a skull and crossbones, the universal symbol for danger, stoking anger in a country where shots are in short supply.
I wonder if it would have been normalized enough that people would wear something just because the government said so if they never mandated masks.
I don't know.
When is another time before masks that the government mandated people wear something? So weird.
I mean, I'm thinking Nazi Germany,
Well, yeah,
Scarlet Letter.
Scarlet Letter, yeah.
The, what is it called? The Star of David that was on people's clothes.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's not the first time. It's not the first time the governments have done this kind of thing. It's not the last time they're going to do this kind of thing. The important thing that people need to realize is that they're going to do it again, and when they do it again, recognize it for the tyranny that it is and refuse. Do not comply. That's the important thing. We learn from the past that people seldom learn from the past. It's time to stop that and learn from the past. Officers in the Nawari district of central Madhya Pradesh state said they introduced the policy to encourage more vaccinations. Yeah, so they're going to shame people who aren't getting, and perhaps some of them would get it if they could, but it sounds like the shots are in short supply, so they're going to shame everybody that hasn't been vaccinated by making them wear a skull and crossbones. Very, very good. Very nice of you. Way to protect and look out for your population, for your citizens, so to speak. Watching the low vaccination rate in our district, we decided to honor the people who got vaccinated, but then we also found a large number of people who were not vaccinated. Santosh Patel, a subdivisional police officer posted in the block of Nawari district, told Reuters on Thursday. Quote, "So to teach them a lesson and encourage them to get vaccinated, we administered an oath to get them inoculated as soon as possible."
That sounded like a
oath?
joke. That sounded like, a villain said that in a cartoon to punish them for not.
So to teach them a lesson and encourage them to get vaccinated. That's my villain voice, apparently. I'm not very good at it. Those who were vaccinated were given a sign. Who's the comedian? I can't remember his name. He's an older guy, always has the cocktail in his hand.
I don't know any comedians.
Southern guy. Bill something or another.
Bill Burr?
No. Older.
I don't know.
Here's your sign. That was his famous one. Anyway, those who were vaccinated were given a sign with the colors of the Indian flag reading, "I am a nationalist." Look at me, I'm a nationalist. Ooh, I have
Wait,
a
so
sign.
the ones who did get vaccinated got "I am a nationalist"? Wait, that sounds like an insult. I don't want to wear a name tag or whatever that says "I am a nationalist."
This is how ridiculous and, pardon the word, but retarded this government is.
Well, all governments and the worship of government.
Of course. But the people, so they gave everybody a sign. They didn't just give a sign to one set of people. They gave everybody a sign. You're vaccinated? Here, you get this sign that says, "I am a nationalist." You didn't get? Oh, here's one. You get the skull and crossbones that says, "You are a danger to everybody else."
How many vaccines could they have bought with the money they spent on these signs?
Right.
Or is it just that, like, the manufacturers are not giving India?
For all we know, they're charging the people for these signs. We don't know. Those were given. Okay, please stay away from me. Yeah, we talked about all that. The policy has. Wait, hang on. Those who were not vaccinated were given a skull and crossbones sign saying, "Do not come near me. I'm not vaccinated. Stay away from me." According to Patel, video footage of the district, some people were seen wearing the signs taped to their chest. The policy has provoked anger online, with social media users calling it an insult and stigmatizing. Well, duh.
That's what they proclaimed they were going to do.
They literally set out to insult and stigmatize people, and now that there's some online hubbub about it, oh my gosh, we can't believe that people find this insulting and stigmatizing. The derp is strong. Around 14% of residents in Madhya Pradesh have had one inoculation against the coronavirus, with vaccination rates in rural areas like Nawari among the lowest anywhere in the country. India, the world's largest vaccine maker.
Wait. Say that again.
India. There's a comma there, which is, I had to stop because I have to laugh, because we're talking about this country where they're making people either wear a sign that says "I'm a nationalist" or a skull and crossbones if you're not vaccinated. And they appear to be low on vaccination shots. The sentence reads, India, the world's largest vaccine maker.
You know what this tells you is that this is all about the money and not about actually vaccinating people.
India, the world's largest vaccine maker.
It's literally them basically trying to sell vaccines to the world and make a profit off of it.
This is to bring it full circle, just like the driving while thirsty thing we were talking about. Government creates a need. We need people to take these vaccines.
Oh, yeah.
Government sells the need. Government mandates the need.
It's the Hegelian dialectic, which is difficult for most people to pronounce. What it means is problem, reaction, solution. The government creates a problem, they cause a reaction, and then they pose the solution to the problem they just created. It's a cycle of government that every government follows. It's repeated again and again and again, and that's the general population of people, keep falling for it.
Well, that's how you get elected, guys. How are you supposed to get elected if you don't have a problem to solve?
India, the world's largest vaccine maker. I just can't get over that. That's like, I don't know, it's like nobody having a copy of Windows in the Seattle area. Microsoft's right there.
Oh.
Right in your own backyard. It's like nobody having beer, within a 20-mile radius of the Coors factory. More Free Talk Live is on the way.
If you're looking for work, there's a piece of paper more important than your resume. It's the cover letter attached if you're snail mailing, or the email to which you attach your resume. Make it 4 short paragraphs. Paragraph 1, say that you're applying for work. The person you're sending to gets a ton of mail about all sorts of things. If you have a password, that's your first sentence. Tom Nelson tells me you and I should meet. Paragraph 2, what you do and how that relates to the opening. Be as specific as possible. Paragraph 3, why you want this particular job. I'm originally from Boston, so I know the market well. I have family and friends in the area, so this would be a homecoming for me. Paragraph 4, unless the job posting stipulates no calls, and I will call you to follow up. Thank you in advance for your time. From survival peoplespeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and our main feed that includes everything. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Free Talk Live.
This is what petty bureaucrats do. They protect their turf. And if you can tell me the operable difference between governments, city, state, federal, whatever they might be, and the most successful gang in a given area, I'd love to hear the difference. I just don't know what the difference is. Yes, government has a funny way of appointing its dons.
Elections.
But that's really it. That's all I can come up with. It's a gang that's figured out, hey, if we let people participate, if they have a vote, that is statistically an insignificant fact that they have a vote, but we let them have one, then they'll feel like they're part of us, and then they can do whatever they want. They cannot pave a road for 43 years and then have everybody claim that without the government we wouldn't be able to pave roads.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
What if you want to hear the latest episode of Free Talk Live, but all you have is your phone, you forgot to download our archive, and you have no data connection? You can call our Listen line at 641-793-0191. That's a long-distance number, so you may incur charges. If not, listen as long as you want. 641-793-0191. The Free Talk Live Listen line, 641-793-0191. Are you a cryptocurrency advocate? The Crypto Tip is the ideal outreach tool to help new people discover cryptocurrency. It's a printable business card-sized tip that you can give to service providers, preferably in addition to a good cash tip. When the server scans the QR code, it'll bring up an explanation of cryptocurrency, how to install a wallet, and allow them to claim the tip. If they don't claim the crypto, you get your tip refunded to you after a time period you specify. Plus, if they do claim the tip, you get an email alert. Create as many tips as you want at cryptotip.org. That's cryptotip.org.
Don't miss a moment of Free Talk Live. Get our archives daily via our podcast at feeds.freetalklive.com.
Final segment of tonight's episode of Free Talk Live is now underway. We're here 7 nights a week from 7 p.m. until 10 p.m. Eastern Time. And if you want to call in on any of those days, you're welcome to do so. Always open phones here on Free Talk Live. That's why we exist. In the studio, it's myself, the Reverend Captain Kickass.
It's Bonnie.
And Chris.
And I want to say thank you to a couple of people. Well, a couple of entities, if you will. Number one, Kylan Eckert. That's Kylon. And also PorcupineRealEstate.com. They are both silver level amplifiers, which means they contribute $5 a month to this radio station for the purpose of amplifying. Oh, what does that mean? What does it mean to amplify Free Talk Live? Well, if you donate some money to us over at amp.freetalklive.com, we will use that money specifically to get this radio program onto more radio stations and other outlets. Anything that we can get this show on, because we believe that much in the message of liberty, peace, and prosperity, and financial prosperity, and freedom, and philosophy, that we want to spread these messages as much as possible. And you can help us do that over at amp.freetalklive.com. We only ask for $5 a month. you can give more. There's a couple of different levels that you can achieve, and there's some perks that go along with it, including some AMP only, groups and that type of a thing. But the real reason to become an amplifier is to help us amplify this program and get it onto more radio stations. Again, amp.freetalklive.com. Thank you to porcupinerealestate.com, and also thank you to Kylan Eckert. Your contributions are very much appreciated. India, the world's largest vaccine maker. How does India, the world's largest vaccine maker, have a shortage of vaccines? How are they short on the supply of vaccines when they make them right there? It's right there. You just go get one. They make them.
It's more profitable to export it than it is to use it.
I'm also speechless on the subject, right?
I think the funniest part.
Money.
I think the funniest part is, why are they seeming to be like going the hardest to promote the vaccine? We're wondering that, like, that's kind of crazy. They're making people who don't get the vaccine wear skull and crossbone necklaces. Why would they be being that crazy? Oh, and then the next sentence: India, the largest manufacturer of vaccines.
Here, this is
all about the money, man.
I never finished the sentence. It's the last sentence in the article, but it says, India, the world's largest vaccine maker, is suffering with supply issues after exporting tens of millions of shots, including donations to smaller nations. Okay, well, there's the vaccine factory right there, right? I mean, can't they just make more? Am I being too, that's like McDonald's, the world's largest maker of hamburgers, is having a shortage.
Well,
you can only buy chicken sandwiches now from McDonald's.
In the defense of McDonald's, I don't think they actually have their own farms, and they contract out and they buy the ingredients.
I mean, how do vaccines get made?
By the vaccine vendors. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. I'm not a virologist. I don't study vaccines and viral things. Viral things? Unless, of course, they're online and going viral. But it seems odd to me that the world's largest vaccine maker is suffering with supply issues.
Wait, what?
India, the world's largest
Aren't
vaccine
they supposed
maker.
to be making it, not getting it, and then...
Is it a supply chain issue, or are we missing ingredients?
Yeah, what are we missing here? Is it the ingredients that we're missing? Because...
I don't know. What I do know is that it said earlier in the article that there was... where shots are in short supply. So
it must be the ingredients that make up the vaccine that they're in short supply of.
So not
that's
only
the only thing that would make any sense here.
Here's how ridiculous this is. Not only are they the largest manufacturer of the vaccine, but now they're putting signs, skulls and crossbones, the universal symbol for danger, on people who aren't vaccinated in the country that makes the most vaccines. The largest manufacturer of vaccines, stoking anger in a country where shots are in short supply. That's the sentence from earlier in the article.
And the people who are vaccinated are getting to wear a sign that says nationalist. Who else called themselves nationalists?
Oh,
Who else in history?
I'm tired of isms. I'm tired of
Nazis.
You're 100% right. It's the Nationalist Socialist Party, right? Something like that? Or
Yeah, I think it is.
The Social Nationalist Party? I don't know.
It's
Were they
something
very
like that.
social? Socialist nationalism?
I don't know.
National socialism?
Yeah, socialism. It was something like National Socialist Party.
Yeah, as opposed to the Regional Socialist Party, right? The National Socialist Party. Yeah.
They're proud of their country.
It's not nationwide, it's region-wide. Well, what's the difference? Wouldn't it be weird if like all governments went away and instead of having countries, we just now had regions?
It would make a lot more sense. Why is New Hampshire considered the same entity as like San Diego?
What do you mean?
It's so far away, such a different culture, has nothing to really do with each other.
Part of the United States.
I see.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah.
Why is it all one entity?
Yeah.
Doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I mean, the idea of having these separate states were that they were all supposed to be their own little separate countries. And the only reason that they would come together is for like things that they thought they needed to.
War,
Trade
defense.
War, defense. Yeah.
Trade.
Yeah. Which is all fine and good. They like regions can do that just fine. Hey, you've got your own region, Bonnie, and Chris, you've got your own region, and oh my gosh, this evil overlord, this evil person, Mr. Jan Framan, he has an army and he's trying to invade all 3 of our regions. Well, we could band together. We could work together and cooperate to keep Jan Framan's army. That's Ian Freeman, by the way.
Oh, I didn't know what you were saying.
Mispronouncing it. Jan Framan, right? Come on. Follow along here, people.
I mean,
I know it's late in the show, but we only have 3 more minutes to kill.
I mean, I don't think we need to. I don't think we need any arms to fight off Ian's army of peace. We just need to open our arms.
Yeah, but it's his evil twin, so this one doesn't have a goatee.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Jan Framan is his.
Jan Framan is his evil alternate universe persona, where he's some sort of a dictator.
Well, in that case, I would need to put my soldiers in each of you guys' regions, and you guys would need to only take my dollars for your petro. I mean, your gas.
What if I don't have any gas
For your trees or whatever.
or oil or whatever? What if I'm green only?
Then you're useless to me. Poland.
What?
Wait a second.
Wow, now she's calling me Polish now.
I'm just
Is that racist or regional? I don't know.
no. First of all,
Poland's a country, right?
Yeah.
So,
It's
or is
not
it also
race,
a culture?
right?
no. I was making a joke, but I think it's because I misunderstand.
Polak jokes are considered racist.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Can you be racist against white people?
How are you racist against your people that are like so exactly the same as you?
No, I was joking because I thought that Poland was like neutral during the war, but I was completely mixing things up right
Wasn't Poland invaded during the war? Or are we talking about a different war?
Which
I don't know.
war?
World War II.
The wars just have been going on for so long
I
that
know,
we can't
right?
keep them straight anymore,
1984.
particularly here on Free Talk Live.
I just never cared about war history. My brother and my dad can sit there and talk about it, and it's just so boring and
Did they have
stupid.
the set of Time Life books? Time Life used to offer these sets of books that were like all of the wars.
Hmm.
You know, like you can read about all of the wars from way back in time up until now. You know, whatever wars were going on. Yes, listeners, there are still wars going on. In case you were wondering, they've been going on and they continue to go on, and why your government continues to steal money from you to fund these wars. They continue to borrow money that your grandchildren, your children, and your children's children, and your children's grandchildren will be on the hook for if something doesn't change right quick.
You know, I think we are those children, if I'm not mistaken. Because don't we have like
I'm
debts?
49.
I'm
and,
sorry.
You know,
Aren't there debts going back to like the Civil War in the United States that the
Yes.
government took out that haven't been paid back?
That's right.
So like we are those children already.
Yes, but it's only going to get worse. A human being that falls out of a vagina today is in debt somewhere around, I think it's $50,000 or something like that. I don't remember the exact figure, but it's a lot
Wait. They can just.
for having done nothing, for just being born in the geographic area known as the United States of America. They're in
Can't they
debt.
just opt out?
Where do I sign up?
Yes.
Where do I sign up? I've been asking that a long time and haven't gotten an answer.
Show me where I can opt out. That's all the time we have for tonight's program. Thanks for tuning in, everybody. Catch us 7 nights a week. If you missed any of the show, visit us at freetalklive.com. Thanks. Peace.
After a devastating war, the alien visitors were driven back, and their willing human collaborators were left behind to face the music. When Emma Jean Anderson's ex-lover springs her from prison, Nathan Foster and his 14-year-old nephew Ben are tasked with bringing the pair to justice. An easy enough job until they discover something is inside Emma Jean, and the fate of the planet hangs in the balance. The Family Business by Mike Coopery from BaneBooks.com.
Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at Bitcoin.com. That's Bitcoin.com.
Breaking weather news. Belize is sunny and around 82 degrees every day this week.
What's the forecast for your life? If current politics and economic prospects are cramping your freedom, escape to the tropics. ECI Development has affordable second homes for you to own or rent in Belize and other tropical countries.